You know, I shared a few weeks ago how a short-term team here had a bus wreck, and 3 of the short-term team members tragically died. Well, I've been asked next week to do the memorial service for those 3 short-term team members, and as I'm preparing, it hit me. We don't really understand grief, and it's if we can't grieve and love Jesus. And the amazing thing to me is, as I'm doing this, Seth, when my son died, just kept coming back to me, and how it's been this long since my 29-year-old son went to be with Jesus, and I'm still, even as I'm talking to you, I'm starting to cry. When he died, people thought I needed a Bible lesson. Here, take 2 platitudes and call me in the morning. That your heart's broken, what you need is a Bible lesson. And can you imagine if we did that with any other thing? If you had a motorcycle wreck and you go to the doctor, your bone's been broken, your femur is sticking through your pants, just jutted out, and you go to the hospital room and the doctor says, I know you're a Christian, realize God's ways are not our ways. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so are God's ways above our ways. God is in control. God is sovereign. And didn't treat your leg. When you're heartbroken, when you're grieving, when tragedy strikes, when somebody dies, especially when somebody dies through tragedy or violence, when it's an out-of-season death, it grieves. It hurts. And we don't need to be told that they're in a better place and that God's in control. And I even had one guy tell me that my grief was an affront to God because it was denying his sovereignty. Was it? As I'm dealing with this, I want to be honest about grief. And I'm in 1 Thessalonians 4, where it says that we are not like those who grieve with no hope. Grieve, but we have hope. And I believe that we as evangelical Christians need to focus on that grief. There is hope, but it's amazing. As I look at 1 Thessalonians 4 and I was rereading it, it starts off and it says that. And 4 times in that passage, in just 4 or 5 verses, it talks about people, Christians, that have died. And it refers to those of us that are left behind. And it says, listen, you can grieve, but you have hope. And that one day you'll be reunited. And that we comfort each other with these words. But don't overlook the very first part that says, as those who grieve. You know, seriously, there I go again. Seth died 6 years ago. And writing this sermon, this message, I had to stop twice because of this. Grief is real. And can I tell you something? I love Jesus. And I miss my son. They're not mutually exclusive. So, my word to you for today in this long little rant. Let people lament. It's okay to be sad when life calls for sadness. It doesn't mean you don't have faith, and it doesn't mean you don't love Jesus, and it doesn't mean you don't believe in the sovereignty of God, and it doesn't mean that you don't trust Him. What it means is sometimes life sucks. It does. And I think we as Christians need to be honest about that.